The film begins in 1979. Here, we see two police officers entering an empty house in a countryside area. Upon entering, they are stunned. Several bodies were lying there. The house was in a strange state. Here, one officer sees a passage leading to the basement, so he calls another officer. When they go down to the basement, they are shocked. What they saw there isn't shown, but the scene cuts to a scene from 2 days earlier. We meet a model named Maximum who aspires to become a superstar. Due to a lack of roles early in her career, she started working in low-budget films to improve her financial situation or to earn a little money. We then see the entire crew of Maximum in a single van heading towards the shooting site. They arrive at the same house we saw at the beginning of the movie. The director gets out of the car and knocks on the door of the house, and a man emerges with a gun. The old man thinks these people are robbers who have come to attack and rob them. But the director reminds him that the same old man had rented some property to these people for filming. Then the old man understands and explains, "I didn't rent this house. Come with me, I'll show you. I rented the cabin upstairs." They start unloading their belongings from the car. Just then, Maxine notices a woman standing at the window, staring at her strangely. She distracts herself and, carrying her belongings, heads to the cabin upstairs with everyone else. The old man also reacts strangely to Maxine, as if he doesn't like her coming. He tells the director that there was no plan for so many people to stay there. The director persuades him with some more money and asks him not to react. The old man tells him, "Be careful. My wife lives at home, and she doesn't like too much noise. Don't do anything here that she doesn't like. Otherwise, I'll have you guys thrown out immediately." The director thoroughly convinces him, coaxes him, and finally sends him away. Anyway, they begin preparing for the shoot inside. Maxine leaves to visit the farm. She again notices the same old lady watching her in a strange way. She finds it a little strange to see her looking at her like that and wonders why she shouldn't go and meet her. When she goes inside, she finds the house in a very bad condition, as if no one had ever cleaned it. The house was also damaged in some places. While she was watching all this, suddenly the old woman stood behind her, and Maxine was terrified. Then, the old woman asked her to sit down and handed her a laminate. Maxine wasn't feeling comfortable sitting there. She wanted to leave immediately. But then the old woman began telling her story, saying, "I once wanted to be a model like you. I wanted to be a star, but now I'm stuck here. I've seen my passion in you, and I'm afraid you might end up like me." Maxine's words frightened her. She was about to get up and leave before the old woman could do anything to her. She felt a sense of someone walking near the house. She knew it must be her husband. So she told Maxine to leave through the back door, as her husband didn't like anyone coming in. Meanwhile, preparations for the shooting were complete. They begin shooting inside a bar, and we're shown how the old lady who had been watching over Maxine begins to imagine herself in Maxine's place, instantly reliving all the dreams she once had in her youth, dreams of becoming a big star. Now that Maxine was living the life she had always wanted, her hatred for Maxine was clearly evident on her face. After filming, they settled down to rest in their cabin, and Lauren, who wasn't even in this field, talks to everyone about her changed thinking, saying, "I don't think this is right." How actresses, despite being family and partners, become close to someone else just for the sake of shooting. The director replies, "During the shooting, there is no emotion involved in two people getting close or kissing. It's just part of our acting. It's our job. Our feelings and attachments are with our partners. We never mix our jobs and our personal lives." Lauren is impressed by the director's point of view, and now she wishes she could get a chance at acting a role, and the director offers it to her right there. But her fiancé, Urch, is completely unwilling to agree. But the director convinces Urch, and they begin filming. Ryuj doesn't say anything at the time, but after everyone is asleep, he cries profusely and then, to vent his anger, even considers running away. He had just gotten into his car and started it when the old lady appeared in front of him. He thinks the old lady has come out because of her mental condition at this age. He goes out to help her and tells her to come inside. But the old lady hugs him and forcibly makes strange advances towards him. Ryuj finds this all too strange, and as he tries to push her away, she reveals her true colors and attacks his neck. Ryuj screams for help, but the old lady overpowers him, pinning him down and strangling him. Ryuj becomes weak, unable to resist, and dies at the hands of the old lady. Afterward, the old lady takes the car keys and leaves. When Lauren wakes up in the middle of the night, she notices that Irje is not in bed. She rushes out to look for him, and upon hearing the commotion, the director also comes out. Lauren, worried, tells him that Irje has gone somewhere. The director encourages her and says he must be somewhere around here. Where could he have gone? But when Lauren tells him she's looked everywhere, the director, in a panic, also begins searching for Urja. After checking the entire house, the director goes into the barn to check on Urja, but he's barefoot at the time. At the barn's entrance, we see a nail stuck to a piece of wood, which the director doesn't see, and it stabs him in the foot. The director collapses. He now sees small holes in the barn walls in front of him. He sees a shadow outside these holes. When he tries to get a closer look through these holes to see who's outside, 2 bars suddenly pierce his eyes, and he dies from the pain. It turns out that the old lady was behind this too. It was her plan to kill anyone who came to check on him. That's why she placed the nail. She set the entire trap. Here, we see Lauren still searching for Arj. They come across the old lady's house, where the old man appears to be quite nervous. Lauren tells him that her fiancé is missing. The old man then tells her that his wife is also missing, and that finding her is more important because she's mentally unstable and will do anything. Lauren agrees and decides to go with the old man to find his wife before her fiancé. The old man tells her to go down to the basement and bring her back. As soon as Lauren goes down to the basement, the old man takes the opportunity to close the basement door behind her. This is where we learn that not only his wife, but he himself is a psychopath. What he intends to do with Lauren is not shown. Lauren tries for a long time to open the door, but when she can't, she tries to find another way out of the basement. She turns on the flashlight she was carrying. The sight before her shocks her, just as the police had been in the same basement. She screams loudly, and her scream wakes another companion sleeping in the adjacent cabin. Lauren understands that this couple was no ordinary couple. They were a very dangerous couple who enjoyed killing people. The boy, awakened by Lauren's voice, comes out to find the old man standing in front of him. He asks, "What happened? Is everything all right?" The old man tells him that his wife is missing and it's urgent to find her. She's mentally unstable. If she does anything wrong, it will cause him great harm. This young man offers to help the old man. He was trying to do good, but he didn't know that he was digging a huge hole for himself. He was choosing his own death. The old man now takes him to the shore of a deserted lake. There, the young man first sees a submerged car. But he can't understand what might have happened. Before any part of his mind can work, the old man points a gun at him from behind and shoots him dead before he can react. The scene cuts back to Lorraine, who was still in the basement, terrified. To save herself, she searches for something and upon finding an axe, uses it to break down the basement door. She is about to open the door by sticking her hand out of the hole. But then, the old lady appears and threatens to kill her, telling her to stay there or else she would suffer a terrible fate. Lorraine is frightened by this threat. Meanwhile, in the cabin next to hers, we are shown that after the death of all the men on the team, only Maxine and Bobby were left alone in the cabin. Unaware of everything, Maxine is sleeping peacefully when the old lady appears, strips off her clothes, and goes to sleep with Maxine. Sensing something strange around her, Maxine wakes up and screams when she sees the old lady next to her. Bobby, hearing her scream, also comes. Bobby notices that no one else is in their cabin except the two of them. At that moment, the old lady is in such a strange state that she is frightening them. Seeing her in this state, Bobby feels as if the old lady is crazy. Putting a cloth on her, he tells her, "Come, I'll drop you off at your house." It is clear that the old lady doesn't want to go with him, but Bobby is forcibly dragging her out. During this time, she abuses him profusely, and as they are passing by a lake, she deliberately pushes Bobby into it. She knows there are crocodiles in the lake, and as she imagined, the crocodiles immediately attack Bobby, killing him. After this, the old lady finally reunites with her husband, the old man, and they return to the cabin they had rented. Upon arriving, the old lady notices that Maxine is nowhere to be found. She becomes sad and tells her husband to go and find her. From their conversation, we learn that everything that was happening here was with the consent and planning of both of them. The old man asks, "Why do you need Maxine now?" Then the old lady says, "I don't know, maybe I'm starting to like her. She has the same thing I once had, that same passion. That's why I want her." The old man tries to relax her. While they are focused on each other, Maxine seizes the opportunity to escape. When she goes outside to her car, she finds the old lady had already punctured it, and RJ's body is also there, terrifying her. She hears Lauren's voice in the distance, constantly screaming for help. She takes a gun and goes down to the basement, where she finds Lauren. Maxine pulls Lauren out of the basement and tells her, "Let's run away. The situation here is terrible. Our lives are in danger." She tells her to stay together. Lauren, however, is furious, asking, "Why did you bring me here?" She doesn't care about anyone's life except her own, as her fiancé was already dead. So she decides to escape alone, axe in hand. But this decision proves inauspicious. 2 steps in, the old man appears and shoots her dead. Maxine, standing behind her, witnesses this and hides, trying to save her life. The old lady then tells the old man, "We no longer need Maxine because we are one again. We should let her go wherever she has fled." Having made this decision, they also decide to dispose of all the bodies, first picking up Lauren's body lying in their path and carrying it out. They try to move her body. But it turns out that Lauren wasn't dead. She is still in agony, and as she makes some noises in this agony, the old man becomes terrified. He was already a heart patient and his age has advanced, so this time the fear overwhelms him and he dies instantly from a heart attack. The old woman is deeply saddened by the sight of her husband dead. Taking advantage of the situation, Maxine takes the gun and rushes out. At gunpoint, she demands the car keys from the old woman. When she refuses, Maxine tries to shoot her, but it turns out her gun is out of bullets. Seeing this, the old woman laughs strangely and mocks her. She says, "I know what you do and what you want to do. What you're doing is wrong, and you'll never achieve what you want by continuing down this path." In fact, she was already trying to say that you'll never become a star by doing such small things. Hearing this, Maxine becomes enraged again and shouts, "I am a star, and I will remain one." Soon the whole world will know this. Seeing her passion, the old lady becomes jealous again and picks up her husband's gun and tries to kill her. However, the gun's backlash injures the old lady herself, causing her to fall down, leaving Maxine barely scratched. Seeing her condition, Maxine laughs and then takes the car keys and gets into her car. The old lady, now even more angry as Maxine is about to escape, curses her from behind. Maxine also becomes enraged and runs her car over the old lady's head before driving away. The scene cuts to a scene several days later, the same scene we saw at the beginning of the movie. 2 police officers arrive to search the house, discovering bodies and a hanging man in the basement. This shocks them even more. As they are about to leave the house after their investigation, they notice a TV on. A pastor is talking about his daughter, who has become a sinner and has begun committing crimes. Instead of blaming himself or his daughter, he blames society for this, saying that society has stopped considering evil as evil for its own enjoyment and entertainment. He then shows a picture of his daughter, revealing that it was none other than Maxine.